for a while, and then I figured that out. Yeah. I should have let him think that. So, we're going to assume right now that this person had received case connection and had been assigned cases through the court system and had turned in their paperwork and now has cases on their list. Those are steps that take place outside of case connection, and it's what is created through the impact system once you are assigned a case.
And the IAM rep is responsible for doing all of that with the individual who gets access to the case.
So, under My Applications is where you would find your Case Connection tab, and yours will say just Case Connection. So this would be Betty's workload, her own workload. And she has, you don't have custom impersonation on the actual website, so just so people don't wonder about that. Up in the right-hand corner, you have help. The help for this is connected to the page you are on, and will tell you what you're going to see, what things are possible on that page. If you click, so it mentions another page. If you click, exit this page, click Case Summary, so you could do that, and it will take you to the Case Summary page, in case you have a question as you're going along. The features on this page that would be new, aside from the help, are that we have moved the tabs from across the top to along the side, and the beauty of that is that then when you are scrolling, you will always be able to move to the tab if you want to say go to the team tab, or once you are in a child's case, you might perhaps want to go to a different section of that case. And that just prevents you having to scroll back up in order to move around within the case.
Stephanie, this is Kathy. I don't know if we have volunteers on here, but having this many cases would be the function of a CASA staff, not a volunteer. So a staff might show a picture with the full cases that they're responsible for. A volunteer, their only case that would show for that volunteer is the one case that they have.
And another thing I would mention on that note is that if you are a volunteer, you will not have a team tab. You will only have just your workload. So another change that was made is this information header up here that lets you know easily what child's case you are in, and if you were looking at something and you thought, oh, I want to contact the worker, or who is the worker for this child, that information remains at the top, whatever page you are on now. So just for easy access to be aware of it is that what child you are in.
Stephanie, a question came up. It asks, how do you get all your cases on Case Connection? How do the cases get on there?
That is a process by which the court appoints you as the advocate, and then there's a what's the name of that?
The CASA program is appointed by the court. And Kim, walk through how they do.
Okay, so there's a document called the Letter of Introduction that must be completed and presented to the caseworker and or the supervisor, and then at that time they will go in. As long as you have access to Case Connection already, you're in the portal, you're approved, then they can go in and assign you to the case. Now, oh, I'm sorry, I thought somebody was going to say something. The only types of cases that are assigned are what we call sub-care cases. So if a child's been moved to an adoption stage, that information will not be available through Case Connection. If they are still in the investigation stage, that information will not be available either.
Okay, thank you. That was a good question. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Okay.
Oh, let me say that since we're talking about assigning on the CPS end, if you have if your IAM rep is no longer there and you all have lost, I mean, I've had phone calls from people who have their whole program has lost access. All of those cases will have to be reassigned. Now, when we first did our onboarding 2 years ago, we had identified folks in the region who took on that data entering and did that assignment in bulk. We do not have that now, so you'll need to be working directly with your the program director, CPS program director, and or supervisor in your area to work out a plan to get those all assigned.
So now I have moved to the next page. Nope, I have the placement page. As you see, the header is still up there. And this gives you the most current approved placement. So if the child has recently been moved and you happen to know that and you look in here, you see that the address is wrong. It may be that the worker has entered it, but it has not yet been approved. Until that approval has happened, it will not update to come across. It'll be an impact but won't show here. If there were daycare information, it would be listed here under the daycare section. And if you want past history information, and this will be a convenient time to show you running a report, this would be a report. And the way you can know the difference is if it's a link, it's going to be a form, and if it's this button, it's going to be a report. It'll take you to the reports page. You notice it says pending here. I am not sure if it is true in production, but for here, I find that if I re-click, it'll come up complete. I've waited a long time not just seeing it pending, but if I refresh that reports tab, it seems to happen very quickly. And again, I cannot be in production, so I don't know if that's true there.
Hi, this is Marissa Mitchell with Casa of Ellis County. If you just hit the child's name instead of trying to go to another report, it will update it immediately. So, so that you don't.
So, refreshing
I found a little trick that I found, when you're doing the placement history, and it shows pending. If you just hit the child's name, it automatically updates,
Right.
rather than going to a different tab, a report tab or something.
Okay, it's going to take you to the report tab for this instance, but knowing that you can hit the child's name as well, I think is a great help.
Stephanie, can we ask another question?
Please.
Okay, this might be more for Patricia and Kim. Is there a requirement for CPS caseworkers to enter this information within a certain time period? We looked this up, and over 2 weeks have passed without it being updated.
It may have been entered but not yet approved. The information that the case connection is pulled directly from approved information in impact. So a worker may have data entered, but if the supervisor has not approved it, it won't pull it in. There are time frames. I think that information is on your website, isn't it?
We may have pulled the time frame sheet. I think it was 30 days. This has been a concern voiced by any number of our programs that they're looking for current information. And even though they know the child has moved placement, it's been 2 weeks, the information is not there. So it is a concern. I think that there are 2 explanations. It may be entered, it may not be approved, and they have time frames. We'll refresh that on our website, but I think it's up to 30 days to get it.
Regardless, my advice would be for you to, as a CASA supervisor or above, for you to contact your equivalent at CPS if that is an issue. The CPS office in your area. That the different items have different time frames. Some are much quicker than others, and I wouldn't necessarily want to make it incumbent upon you guys to figure out what those time frames are and keep track of that. That definitely is something we should be doing. So talk to those supervisors if you're finding a pattern of that.
I think last time when we talked about the placement issue that came through and reached out to the different CPS office, is the placement is also typed other things. So that's an important one. Your folks aren't getting an answer that it should be Carol.
Yeah, if you've contacted your CPS equivalent and it's not together you're unable to resolve it, then you can certainly contact Carol Selfwood State Office and she'll get involved. You can also work it up your chain of command as well.
You can let me know if you've not been, this is Kathy, successful with your local counterparts, and I'll work with Carol. So we do want to stay on top of this and have a greater understanding locally about what's going on.
Stephanie, there are a few other questions that have come in, but I'm going to kind of save them until our question and answer time at the end of your demonstration. I'll let you try to finish up because I'm looking at the time and I know we have a lot more to do.
Okay, and I will just try and hit the high points. I want to make sure everyone knows that you now have filtration on your My Workload page, which means you can put in just a couple of letters. Say you want, I want to know all children that have an ER in their name. You can enter more letters. If you're going to enter a full name, don't enter first and last because it will, whatever the table, codes table that pulls this, if it has a space, and you didn't put a space, it won't pull, you will think something's wrong. So use the filter by using a first name or last name or just a few letters, and you won't have it not pull the information you want. That's just something that I noticed, and they said that's not a defect. It's only going to pull the way it was spaced in the table. So I'm thinking we will just jump right to, I'm hoping a child has some forms in here somewhere. This page we also changed and broke it out so that the permanency page used to be extremely long and you would scroll and scroll. So we separated into tabs. So it makes it much easier. You would also have, if there were more than 20 items in this list, you would have pagination so that you could just skip to the second page if you knew it was much further down. And you can also sort ascending and descending on any row that it made sense to have sorting on. So as you see that they broke it out, this would be a form. I'll attempt to open some of these things because I am not on my actual desktop are going to act a little odd because we have such big restrictions. Because you see I don't see it coming up, but it would open right here in a separate tab and always has. So I'm thinking that's much like my email being 360. It's because I'm not on Go to My PC. It was just so I think what I will do, demographics, it's sort of the same situation reports we were on, and that's what we'll bring up. I will note that this will not just show the reports for the person that it's their workload. It's not going to show just that one child's report. You've gone in and run a report on a couple of other children. They will show in the list. This reports is kind of like your reports tab for reports that you have run. So if you were in and had run reports on a few different children, you would see them in the list. That isn't a problem of it being mixed in other cases. It's just the way the reports tab works. And I believe it is 24 hours that we ended on that the reports would remain on your reports tab, and then they will disappear. The legal tab is also just informational, very basic. but does have to generate the legal log. I'm going to move to external documents because that is the new. Did you send me a Word document?
I didn't.
Oh, I don't know if I'll get it anyway, but I'm going to attempt to at least upload a picture. I think I can do that from this desktop. So this is a new page, external documents. This is where you can upload files. You will then see files that you uploaded. If you want to know about files in the case, it will be the external document log, and it will just be a list of what files are there. There won't be files that you can open that from within Impact. You'll just be able to see what's already there. So if you thought maybe a report needed to be uploaded, but you wanted to check on the list and see if the worker had already uploaded it, you could check that log and see if it was listed there. It's very, very simple, I think, to run. You just do, these are the following document types that it will allow. 25 is pretty large. I have discovered when I was trying to test it to find something that was too large so that I could make it fail, but it will fail if it is bigger than that. And you just simply browse. I'm going to see what's on this desktop.
Might be sample
Look at the
pictures.
pictures. We'll go for desert. And see, I had a feeling it's preventing me from things because, can I do this?
You can just create a new Word document.
I don't even know that Word is on this laptop, is it?
Yeah.
It should
You
be.
can right click, go into your step again.
Oh, you can open.
This?
You can find PowerPoint on the desktop.
That's not supported.
Yeah, I don't think it's
oh.
gonna. I don't think
Oh.
any of these are gonna.
Okay.
It's not gonna let me go. It's funny where it'll let me go and where it won't.
There would be a document in there.
I know, but I guess I could go in IT. What documents? I don't know.
Yes.
You know, I'll go in training.
Go up to OPI. Yeah, OPI. Yeah. Oh, it won't let you in.
Will let you to CPS.
I'm thinking that it's not going to let me into any of these. I thought we put a couple things on this desktop yesterday, but I guess
It
not.
did. It seemed like it started over or something. None of
No,
those.
those are too big, right?
This is probably your desktop.
Seems to be my desktop, but not looking into my. Actually, just kind of wasting time. Don't you?
Greg, did you run the HNS
computer
drive to
ready.
be able to access the shared drive?
Oh, that could be it.
FA,
Uh,
FAT.
the HNS
Desktop.
drives
Go to
haven't
desktop.
run. You could just open Word and create a document and save it on the desk drive.
Yeah, I think such a short time because it's kind of intuitive, whatever they choose.
What do you want me to do?
Microsoft Office, Word. And just save it to your desktop.
Is that going to be right?
That's it. Yeah.
Do I want to save it there?
Yeah. Type in GT. Oh,
I can scroll for it, right? We did it. Hopefully you will not have the same struggle. So it reminds you that you cannot remove this file once it is uploaded. Date obtained. Oh, I don't want to put 19. I've been putting in birthdays all morning. I'm going to say that this is a photo, even though it isn't, just so that you can see the difference. Look at.
So just documents.
Oh, because I didn't load the right, yeah, it's a Word document, so I can't show you photo. Education portfolio, save it. It'll be in your list. It tells you who uploaded it, the
And-
name of it, and you can view it if you would like to.
Who's that available to then?
That it is now available to a message will be sent to the DFPS worker to let them know that a CASA file upload has happened, and you will also be able to view it here. You cannot remove it now from here or from DFPS without filling out it has to go through that data fix, which would be the CPS worker, correct? You would have to notify them that you had uploaded a wrong file, or they would probably notice it themselves.
What'll happen is they'll get a notification, not via email, but it'll be actually in Impact. They'll get a notification that an external file has been uploaded, and then they'll go in and be able to look at it, and it'll live in the external files.
For the CASA program, once, say this is my case that I have case connection access, I've loaded any number of external documents. Will that list of external documents that I've uploaded always be there for me to see?
Yeah, on their side. Yeah. It's not
Yes.
like that other area where it's
So-
27.
Yeah,
I
this
can-
list will remain.
They will
This-
always
this-
be there, so I can always see what I have uploaded for that particular case.
Yes. And it also will have pagination. It's larger.
And this is the new feature.
This is the new feature to upload, and you can upload photos as well, which opens a second window and requires more information that I plan to show you today, but I just having my technical difficulty today.
Okay, are there any questions about using Case Connection? I know that a number of people have written them in, so I'm going to ask a couple of them. Hopefully we can just give a quick answer to them. We won't have time to elaborate on them. But here's a question that was written in. Is it accurate that we do not have access to the case once it is in adoption? If not, would it be helpful as programs work cases up to the PMC stages?
No, you have access. You have the same access that you've always had through Case Connection. Only the sub-care stage. So if the child is in adoption prep and the sub-care stage is still open, then you would still have access. Once the child goes into an adoption placement, once it's made in a placement, that stage will not be accessible.
Okay, thanks for that answer. And by the way, if you need some more elaboration, or if you need some more elaboration on that, feel free to write more into the request section or into the question section of the webinar, and we're going to keep track of those and follow up with those questions to get some answers to you. It does track your name, so we'll be able to email the answers to you. Here's another question. Other than a child being related to a worker, why else would a case be marked sensitive?
Cases are marked sensitive for a variety of reasons. Even if there is someone in the case who might be of a position in the community where we wouldn't want that information available to everyone. It might be marked sensitive. Like, for instance, like a police chief who we work with, these would be people that CPS would work with, that case would be marked sensitive. High media cases are often marked sensitive. And then anytime, even if let's say a program director or even program administrator in that area, if that case would be under their chain of command, it would be marked sensitive and usually worked out of another area.
Okay, great.
So
Thanks
there's
for all
lots
the
of reasons.
lots of great examples. I appreciate that. There's somebody just asked for a refresher of what is the name of the letter that needs to be submitted to CPS to get a case assigned? What was the name of
A
that?
letter of introduction.
And it's on our website.
Great.
The letter of introduction, and it's been on, it's on our Texas CASA website.
Okay.
Also, it can also serve as when they're being,
Right. It's also used when someone is when you want someone to be removed, even though we're not necessarily, there's a function that is done in impact to the supervisor, but the IAM rep is responsible for suspending or closing access to someone who is no longer with CASA. However, so in that case, you would use that letter of introduction to let CPS know that that person is no longer the CASA person who should have access to case connection. And then if there's someone else that's being assigned to that case, then you would also use it for reassignment. You'll see, when you see the form, it spells it out. It's got specific sections.
All right, thank you. There's just one more question that I want to raise, and I appreciate everybody writing these in. But there's one more question about, let's say that they keep getting a system error and it tells you to contact the help desk for assistance. If you keep getting that, what should you do? Just go ahead and get on the phone with them, or is there someone else you should contact?
I think that's the right way to contact the help desk at that time.
Okay.
So if they have any logs behind the scenes, they can look into and troubleshoot the problem more quicker than otherwise.
Okay, thank you, Yogesh.
Yes, can I just say, this is Kim Mansell, any technical issue needs to go through the help desk first. There's no, we at Carroll is not going to be able to resolve any technical issue. The help desk number we're showing it on the bottom of the screen. Is it not there?
No, I believe that the pattern has been was to contact the IAM rep, and the IAM rep would make the decision and it has the procedures to contact and call in a ticket if it's needed. I think that's the procedure, and that's why it says volunteers, please contact the process staff.
Right.
And then they'll decide to contact the IAM rep. It kind of goes that way first.
And then the IAM rep, if they are still having technical difficulties, there is a number in their IAM rep guide for them to call.
Is it done by email now?
Or email. We will find this out because this is a critical piece of information.
So it's a difference of being the portal, I can't log in, or provisioning would be portal, which the IAM rep mostly would be doing. That would be HHS. So if you had registered and you've always been able to log in and you can't log in, your IAM rep, you're going to have to call the help desk, get your password reset or something. HHSC. If you're trying to, you've logged in and you're trying to get to an application, now you go to your IAM rep, your supervisor or IAM rep.
Right, but if you're having technical difficulties that the IAM rep cannot solve, the IAM rep then contacts someone at the help desk for technical issues.
Right.
And they do that by...
That information is on the portal.
So that information is on the portal.
Right. But there is a contact us pretty much the same as you will see in the enterprise portal.
Okay, and that will be in the IAM user guide.
Yes.
Yes, they can find this direction in the guide. Okay.
All right.
Two separate little spots.
Yes. Yeah, those are really important questions, and we appreciate your feedback. There are some questions that I'm going to have to forward to other people to answer after our meeting because we just don't have time to get to them. But I have filtered ones that I thought were maybe a little more general and something that we could address right away. What we're going to do now is shift more to the IAM deep dive. So I want to ask, is there anybody who would be a case connection user, not an IAM rep? From anything that you've seen, are there any urgent questions or really pressing questions you have? Because what we're going to do is when we move to the IAM rep, If you are not an IAM rep and not planning to be one anytime soon, you can feel free to log off of the webinar and go on with your daily business. So are there any questions for the folks who might be logging off in the next few minutes before you log off? Go ahead and speak up if you do have a question so that we can answer it immediately. Okay, what we're going to do is move to a section where we're working with IAM reps. Those of you who are not IAM reps, you may be dismissed, and the rest of us will jump in and start looking at the IAM rep responsibilities and take a deeper dive into some of